Greetings everyone, Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to look at the studio discography, rather lengthy studio discography of Seattle's very own Heart, of course led by the Wilson sisters, Ann and Nancy, vocalist, guitar player, and singer extraordinaire, and they're very, very capable bands that they've had over the years. A lot of rotating members, but in all cases, some great musicians have been in this band, always led by the two sisters, of course. So this was a pretty difficult one to rank because I like all of the eras and all of the Heart albums. For me, there's really no Heart album that I really dislike. There's obviously some I like a lot better than others. So the bottom half of the list was actually kind of hard to formulate because, you know, a lot of them I kind of like are solid. They don't really, you know, it was just kind of hard to put them in an order. So I'm going to rank them how I'm going to rank them, but you know, I'll just preface this by saying that just because some of the ones that are coming at the bottom are where they are, doesn't mean I dislike it. On any given day, they could rise up a little higher, and I'm expecting a lot of you are going to rank some of those albums a little bit higher, and that's cool because that's the way it should be. I think most of us can agree that this band has put out quality product throughout their career. Some people are going to favor the earlier stuff, right? Some people like the 80s, more bombastic, you know, excuse me, pop type stuff, right? Because a lot of people grew up on those Heart records in the 80s and the early 90s, right? They were huge, right? The band was absolutely enormous then, but some people prefer the earlier stuff. Some people like, all right, that 80s stuff. So it all depends. And quite frankly, they released a lot of good albums in recent years. So really nothing bad here, but I got to rank them, so I'm going to rank them. So first of all, I'm going to put down at the bottom of my list, again, a very solid album is Desire Walks On. Okay, this came out, when did this come out here? 1993, so this is a 90s album. Again, solid album. A lot of songs, 13 tracks. I know we've talked about that quite a bit. But, you know, good solid stuff, kind of a mix of poppier tunes and hard rockers, right? Some folky style numbers. I mean, the band was just really great at putting out, you know, albums that had a mix of all those elements. They were always known for that, right? Next up, I'm going to go with Jupiter's Darlin. Okay, which was their follow-up to that. Actually, not their follow-up to that, but released quite a few years later. So it was almost 10 years in between. They kind of went on a hiatus of not releasing new music. This came out in 2004. But this is actually another very strong album. All right. Here's the sisters in the band. Again, a good album, right? Good, solid stuff. Next up, I'm going to go with Red Velvet Car. From 2010. God, 10 years since this came out. What I like about this album, I think it's, and there's the ladies, a little older, a little wiser, but still doing a great job. Shorter track list on here, which I kind of like. I think it's more compact, works a little better. WTF, good rockin' song. Red Velvet Car, Queen City I like. Death Valley. Good. More of a, you know, the last couple of albums have had some really good hard rock stuff on it, so I dig them. Some really strong albums they released in this back end of their career. All right, next up, I'm going to go with the self-titled, you know, obviously the big, huge blockbuster, right? From 1985. Tons of hit singles on this, right? If Looks Could Kill, What About Love, Never, These Dreams. Jeez. Nothing at all. It's amazing how many hits were on this album. What did this sell? Like multi-millions? Triple platinum? Something like that? This stuff was all over the radio and all over MTV when it came out. You know, I dig it. I like this stuff when it came out. Is this my favorite Heart? You know, not really. Not my favorite era either. But, you know, the songs are good. They're catchy. They're kind of rocking. The ballads are great. And the ladies look fantastic, right? Hate to say that, but that's the truth, right? So, but that's where I'm going to put that one. Next up, we're going to go with Brigade, which came out a couple years later, all right, 1990. Also a pretty strong album, had some hits, but, you know, by this time, this is when, you know, the band's popularity is starting to die down a little bit. The whole Heart craze, you know, starting to go away. Alternative and grunge and all that kind of stuff coming into play. But still, I think a solid record. As is Bad Animals, okay, which was released in between those two, right? So Bad Animals from 87. Another, you know, Alone is on here. There's the Girl. Who Will You Run To? You know, some very strong hits on here. The whole album is, in general, I think is packs a punch, okay? memorable songs. Nothing wrong with memorable songs. All right, next up I'm going to go with Passion Works. I got a 2-on-1 here, so Passion Works, of course, is this one. All right, and then coming after that is going to be Private Audition. Some people kind of shit on these albums, the early 80s albums. This is before they went and did all the big hits and stuff, but I still think, this kind of took a turn from the material they were doing in the 70s into more of like early 80s sound, but there's some pretty good rockin' stuff on here. City's Burning, cranking tune, right? That's on Private Audition. The title track is great. Bright Light Girl, How Can I Refuse was the big hit off of Passion Works. Johnny Moon, great song. I don't know. I think both of these are pretty solid. I know some people don't rank them as high, and that's totally cool. I get it. Next up, I'm going to go with Beautiful Broken, which is one of their more recent albums. I dig this album. This is the last one they put out. This came out in 2016. This is a strong record. I played the hell out of this when it came out. For me, it's been good having like new Heart albums every couple of years in recent years that are actually really solid. The title track, Beautiful Broken, good heavy rocker. You got the really great, I know it was written for them, but a great single in two. In fact, my wife loves that song. Nice little tender ballad sung by Nancy. Great song. They do a remake of Sweet Darlin' on here. Another great song. I Jump. Good rockin' song. We got Johnny Moon, Heaven, The City's Burning. Okay, they do another take on that. Down on Me, The Language of Love, right? So, you got some newer renditions of older songs. A couple things were written for them, a couple new originals. It's just, I think, a really solid, fun record. As is Fanatic, all right? This is by far my favorite album since their return to recording new music. This came out in 2012. This is a really strong, hard rockin' record. All right. This shows that the Wilson Sisters and Company have still a lot of life left in the tank. The title track is great. Dear Old America, Skin and Bones, A Million Miles, Mashallah, great heavy tune. 59 Crunch, Rock Deep in Vancouver, Beautiful Broken. I mean, just some great kick-ass hard rock anthems on here. And man, Ann Wilson still can belt it out, people. Can still belt it out. All right, so now we're going to go to, my absolute favorite stuff from this band. I don't think any of these releases will be of a surprise to anybody being at the top. You may be ranking some of these a little bit different. That's totally okay. Next up, I'm going to go with Magazine. Okay, so this was actually their third record. At this time they were having a dispute with their original label, right? So this kind of came out with little fanfare. They'd already signed a agreement with their new label. But I think this is a strong album. It's got Heartless on it. Really good gritty rocker. What else? Just the Wine. Title track. Mother Earth Blues. Devil Delight. I've Got the Music in Me. Cool take on that song. I think it's a good album. All right. Next up, coming in at number 4. I'm going to go with Baby Lestrange, or Baby Lestrange, or Baby Lestrange, or Baby Lestrange, however they say it, right? Love that album cover. Man, they look dynamite on there, don't they? The title track is awesome. Down on Me. Silver Wheels, cool tune. Break is excellent. What else? Rockin' Heaven Down. Even It Up. Strange Night. Very underrated song on here. Of course, you got the original version of Sweet Darlin'. I happen to like that album quite a bit. It was a big seller for them. Next up, and I almost ranked this a little higher, I have a real soft spot for Dog and Butterfly. This is just a wonderful little album. And I think, these top 3 albums are just like, the top 4 albums. It just, shows just how wonderful this band was at just incorporating all these different styles. It's just a great rock album. But man, they could do the folk stuff so well. They could do the pop stuff so well. And they could hit you with bone crunching heavy rock and roll too. So here, this has got a little bit of everything. You got the Blistering Cook with Fire. You got High Time. All right, great anthemic chorus on that. Hijinks. You got Straight On. Another good kind of mid-tempo rocker. The title track, Dog and Butterfly, just almost brings me to tears every time I hear it. I just really love it. I think it's a beautiful song. It's sung so well. I love the guitar chords in it. It's just a great kind of wonderful little acoustic-based number. And, I'm a big animal fan. I'm a big dog fan. As you know, I own 3 dogs, and I love animals so much, and I love dogs, like, with everything in me. And I love the kind of the real heartwarming lyrics to the song about, being a young kid and watching your dog. Watching your dog, you know, outside chasing after butterflies and stuff. And it brings back, you know, it's all about the memories of a little child, right? Growing up, seeing your dog chasing after butterflies. I mean, it's just such a heart, you know, it makes me emotional as I even think about it. Every time I listen to the song, I get that way. And I was just listening to it last night. I was like, oh man, I love it. What else we got? Lighter Touch. And of course, Mistral Winds, which is one of my favorite Heart tracks. Mistral Wind, a genius of a song that's got like kind of this folk mysticism and the heavy rock going on. Just, amazing, amazing stuff. Great album. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to go with Little Queen. All right. From 1977. I mean, you know, there are times where I'd rank this number 1. Of course, it's got Barracuda, it's got Love Alive, it's got the incredible Sylvan song, Dream of the Archer, Kick It Out, title track Little Queen is awesome, Cry to Me. I mean, every song on here is just fantastic. You know, arguably Heart's first 2, you know, first 2 albums are probably 2 of the greatest first 2 releases of any band in rock history. All right. You know, ranking up there with like Zeppelin's first. I mean, you know, well, Sabbath's first. You know, a lot of bands put out kick-ass albums, but I think this album and their debut don't get enough credit as being 2 absolutely smashing first 2 releases in the catalog. Just a perfect album. For me, only bested by Dreamboat Annie. Again, how many of you guys went and bought that LP back in the day, seeing that album cover? Jeff Young, I'm talking to you, buddy. I mean, come on. Look at those 2, all right? But, you know, the music more than stood up to everything. And, you know, because this has Crazy on You and Magic Man alone makes it an instant classic. But, you know, just so many fantastic songs on this album. And again, it just the album kind of exemplifies everything that was so great about this band, and the fact that they kind of jumped out of the gate just releasing an album of such like immense power. All right, just the heavy rock riffs, you know, of Roger Fisher. All right, you know, the band at the time, we got the Wilson sisters, Roger Fisher, Howard Leese was later on. God, who was in the rest of the band at the time? Hold on, guys, trying to get you a Steve Fossen on bass, Mike DeRosier on drums. Okay. But, you know, Magic Man, Dreamboat Annie, Crazy on You, Soul of the Sea, the magical Soul of the Sea. All right. White Lightning and Wine. Sing Child, which for me is one of the unsung gems in the Heart catalog. Man, the riffs and guitar playing of Mr. Fisher on that tune are outstanding. You know, How Deep It Goes. All sorts of great songs on here. White Lightning and Wine, good hard rockers, good folky poppy stuff, just fantastic. Those first 2 albums, man, can't beat it. Can't beat them. All right, so let's go back in time here. Let's go back. Coming in at number 1, Dreamboat Annie. Coming in at number 2, Little Queen. Coming in at number 3, Dog and the Butterfly. Coming in at number 4, Baby Lestrange. Baby Lestrange. Coming in at number, where am I? Number 5, Magazine. Coming in at number 6, going to go with Fanatic. Coming in at number 7, Beautiful Broken. Coming in at number 8, we're going to go with Private Audition. Number 9, Passion Works. Coming in at number 10, Bad Animals. Number 11, Brigade. Number 12, Heart. Number 13, Red Velvet Car. Number 14, Jupiter's Darlin. And number 15, we're going to go with Desire Walks On. I do want to give props to their Christmas album. If you haven't heard it, that's delightful. I listen to that every holiday season. Really good rendition of old classics and some stuff that they wrote specifically for the holidays. That's a good one too. So again, like I said, not a bad album here. I like all of these albums. So, you know, don't get in an uproar if one of your favorites is down on my list. Doesn't mean I don't like it, right? I just happen to like others better. But I think most of these albums are very enjoyable. Okay, even the ones at the bottom of my list I do listen to, all right? But, you know, the ones at the top are at the top for a reason, right? Those are my favorites. So curious to see what your favorites are. Rank the whole catalog or just give your 5 or 10 favorite albums, whatever you want to do. Let's talk about Heart in the comments and feedback alone, or the comments and feedback below. Got that song Alone in my head, right? Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're on the mighty YouTube all the damn time. We got great stuff coming up over the next few days. Going to hope to squeeze our listening room in next day or two. Jeff Young and I are getting together tonight to do Cheap Trick Top 10 Songs, so don't miss that. What else? Over the next few days, over the weekend, ranking the studio albums, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Doobie Brothers, and a whole lot more. So don't miss any of it, and we'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.